On your markets.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. On your market set, we're going to have a phenomenal feed. That's exactly it, so to speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've got a poetry pentathlon winner here. A phenomenal feature. Oh my God, I love hearing this man. And I'm so pleased that we're going to have recordings of this so that people around the country and around the world can get it in podcasts and can see on YouTube always. Please, ladies and gentlemen, GPA, the Poetic Unsub, give it up for him, yeah!
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, everybody. Oh, that was cool before I got here. Now I got nervous as all get out. Okay. Let's start out angry first, and then we'll go funny, and then we'll go central, old book, soon to come book, and then newer book than that. So let's do that. Here we go. A man resides in hell. Rather, he sits in a federal correctional institution in Ashland, Kentucky, and he sees the devil. Rather, it is the first shift guard, the second shift guard, and the third shift guard, and the fellow inmates all around him. But he does not see God, but he calls out to him, and this is what he says. I want to be free, oh free, because he was locked up. One day he sat in a cell contemplating. He was tired of sharing a TV with 100 other men. He was so sick and tired of being sick and tired that he said he would either lift weights, walk the track, or just sleep it off. And he's starting to catch the flu. But not because he's displaying any of the symptoms, no. Because the man over there in the next cell, in the next bunk, he's starting to sneeze and cough. See, the media has lied to you. He wasn't in a country club or a resort. He was in a federal correctional institution. That's where they had him staying. See, they had brothers from the hood for 3 pieces of crack and gave him 20 years, pedophiles, white-collar criminals like himself. So best believe that the feds, they weren't playing. And it costs to be locked up too. You pay for the phone calls to call home. You pay for the detergent to wash your clothes. You pay for the radio to listen to your TV. Otherwise, you cannot listen to the TV. And a whole bunch of other ish from the commissary. His birthdays, his holidays, and his holidays, they came and they went. And he recollects that not one of them was happy or merry. He described his brothers in chains. They had bald heads like him, braids. Some had been there so long they had gray hairs. Some of the men from down south, North Carolina, South Carolina, they were dreadlocked up. Inmates snitching, inmates turning tricks, inmates gambling, inmates stealing food from the kitchen. And the him in the story was me. And all I described to you was one day of being locked up. I want to be free. My poem. All right, starting to warm up just a little bit. So let's continue on. This is a sequel to that. It's from my book, The Confessional Heart of a Man. It's called Locked Up Close to Home. Sun seems to shine. Vision not as cloudy. Road to perdition, thought I was prouding, so much so that when I was lonely and in silence, I screamed loudly. The worm, no, circumstances have turned. Eternal is not the adjective for this hell. The clouds that drag dreary were just a self-imposed spell. The digits of the months left are now single to count. October, November, December, January, February, the anxiety mounts. The fence, it's not so high. The barbed wire, not so sharp. Freedom is out there, locked up, but now he's close to home. My poem. Thank you. Sometimes you go through ish with your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, whatever the case may be, And one of the beautiful things about being a poet is you can write it down and then you can put it out. So this is called the episode from the mind of a Poetic Unsub. Honey, come read this. This poem is going in my new book. But instead, the emasculation process begins. She calls him expletives out of his name. She urinates and defecates on his dreams and aspirations. Basically, she speaks to him in a way that could be akin to drunk, driving, reckless. He silent, brooding, anger simmering, boiling over. But to commit an act of domestic violence is not on his checklist. Are his feelings hurt? Are his dreams shattered? She made her point. She smiled and she walks away because she could really care less. So he bows his head. But fear not, self-esteem is intact. He's just trying to write poems until his consciousness turns black. Whether black from sleep or black from never waking death, his aspiration is to recite the greatest poem ever with his very last breath. He has indulged in several bottles of beer, too many count shots of tequila, dozens of cups of coffee, long walks in the Chicago cold night, writing rhymes along with sleep deprivation, keeping a grip on tenuous sanity. Dark-skinned oppression caused marked low self-esteem. So to combat those two villains, we came up with GPA's egotistical vanity. And you might as well throw the book at me, because I'm guilty as charged when they say I'm cocky, conceited, egomaniacal, self-centered. So it's irrelevant when somebody really thinks of me. Everyone knows that I write every day. I recite every day, so I have an unrequited love of poetry, and I can't feature anywhere because they say I'm the worst poet ever, because I have an uneven flow. And though I've been in the newspapers, and though Yahoo, Bing, and other search engines know my name, I'm a poet that they say is still unheard of, the nerve of. And because people got in the insecurities when I said greatest, I started calling myself Unsub. But every morning, and the afternoon, and every night when I lay down, every night when I'm awake when writing, every morning when I'm still writing, and every afternoon when I'm writing and reciting, I bow to God and say, thank you, Father, for giving me poetry when I had no love. My poem. Like, oh, cool. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I'll work with that. That's cool. Just a little, something about myself, I guess, real quick. I like to, whenever I perform, whether it's a feature or open mic, I like to go straight in, and then I'll talk afterwards, you know, because people have been sitting like you guys, and I appreciate y'all for coming out tonight and showing me some love, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. You know, a lot of people, we get to hear poetry for like a couple of hours, and then it's like, damn, somebody else is still talking, and it's like, okay, cool. So real quick, I'm the author of, and this is not indicative of the book, this is my rhyme book. I'm the author of The Confessional Heart of a Man. That is my first book, did pretty well, got some great reviews on Amazon and all that stuff. I'm the author, co-author of a book that was just released yesterday. It's an erotic anthology called The Chocolate Rose. I'm the only poet in the book. Both of those books are available on my website, www.iblowyourmind.com. And along with, I'm part of the as you see, League of Extraordinary Poets.
Are you not the captain?
I happen to be the founding member of the League of Extraordinary Poets.